Alright, welcome back. Today we're going to be fixing this Kenmore dehumidifier. So what's wrong with this thing? Well, as you can see, we have an EC warning on our display up here. And what that essentially means is that there's a control board issue with this Kenmore Energy Star, whatever you want to call it, dehumidifier. Now, I've actually come up with a solution to fix this problem. This problem will occur usually if you have it set on continuous or on I think it's this one, or if you have it going through its normal cycling to bring the humidity down in the room. It'll also fail out like this. And I think it has something to do either with the control board or there's little fins in here you can see. Now obviously it's not going to show up on camera, but these things will actually start to freeze up. And I think there's some kind of freeze sensor in there that gets triggered and either doesn't untrigger or just the thing doesn't work anymore. The control board just doesn't take in the input. Now this thing does get pretty hot. It's not hot right now because it's on its kind of cool down cycle, but what I have done to fix this issue is I noticed that if I have it running on like the timer mode, or if I have it running regularly and if I pull the plug on it, we'll actually show you that here, it will actually turn the power off on the unit. Then once I plug it back in, it will boot back up, wait 3 minutes, then start the entire thing back up and running. It essentially restarts the entire system, and then this EC warning doesn't show up and it actually does its normal operation. It'll also only turn on if it senses humidity that's high enough for it to turn on as well, but it requires one of these things that I have set up, which will allow me to reset the device, allowing it to power back up, go through its cycle, and then this will actually trip it off so that it doesn't go through this EC warning. Now I'm going to show you how to do that today, but first I'm going to show you how we can have this thing, unplug it, plug it back in. It'll reset the unit first, and then once it's back up and running, we'll unplug it again, plug it back in. It'll wait for 3 minutes, then it'll start back up. I'm going to show you how that works and how I can utilize this device to essentially automatically do that. So we're going to unplug it now. We're going to wait 10 seconds just so it can cool down there. And then I'll plug it back in. And it's going to start back up, hopefully. Should. Yep. Just like that. I'll move it a little bit closer. Actually, I'll just leave it here. Now it's going to start back up in 3 minutes. So we're going to keep the camera on and wait 3 minutes. Now, the reason that it trips offline for 3 minutes after you've unplugged it and plugged it back in is, say if there was a power cut or you had multiple power cuts, you don't want that compressor to immediately start back up because it could destroy the compressor and the refrigeration components inside of the device. So it waits 3 minutes just to save the life of the compressor, but as you can see, it doesn't save the life of the motherboard, which seems to have gone bad in this, or at least we think it thinks it's gone bad, but it still seems to work fine as long as you unplug it and plug it back in. Now, I'll show you what this device allows me to do in just 1 second. But this dehumidifier is going to turn back on any second now. There we go. Start it back up. And then it will start its normal operation. So now we're going to take this thing and we're going to plug it in. Now what this is this is an IoT device made by TP-Link. It's the TP-Link HS100. I'm sure they still make these and sell them on Amazon. I would recommend actually going with a maybe different model, one that would measure the wattage also being used, so you can keep track of how much power this thing's using, because you want to set the timer correctly so that this thing isn't just running all the time and sucking your power down, which tends to happen if you leave these things running for a while. Now, I have this thing connected to my smartphone app on my phone that lets me put in different times, and essentially every 30 minutes it allows it to power up, and then after, say, 30 minutes or so has gone by, it'll power back off just to reset the board if it's tripped offline. And most of the time it hasn't, but it's just a precaution, because once it trips, it stays tripped until the power is interrupted on the device or whatever. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is plug this TP-Link device in here. I'll go ahead and just hit the power button on this so we safely turn it off. And then we're gonna pull the plug on here, just so we're not... So this is just an extension cord that I have. You could plug this into your wall or whatever, but we're going to plug it in. It's going to connect to my network, but if you buy one of these brand new, there's many tutorials online of how to set them up. I might even just go ahead and reset this device just to show you how to set it up real quick, because it's relatively simple to do. So that's going to connect to the Wi-Fi. We'll turn it off so you can see it going through its boot up process there. Forgive me for the noises in the background. All right, so it's currently connected. I can turn it on and off, and we're gonna go ahead and reset this device. All right, so now we're in setup mode on the TP-Link device. We're gonna go ahead and plug our dehumidifier in just to have it all set up and ready, so we don't have to come back down here. And yeah, we're ready to go upstairs. Things we're going to want to go to the Play Store. In my case, I'm using an Android, so it's going to be the Play Games. We're going to go up to the search bar, type in CASA, which is the app that's going to be used by our TP-Link smart device. We're going to click on the install. I already have this installed. I just wanted to show you how to get to it if you did not know. On the App Store for Apples, it should be the same process. Just go to the Apple App Store, whatever that is, and go on there and load that on. Alright, so we're opening the app now, and what we're going to want to do is add a new device. We're going to click on the plus button up here. Click on Device. We're going to select Smart Plugs, because that's what our device is. We're going to click on the HS100, or whatever device that you are using. Focus. Alright. And then it's going to go through a couple of setup directions. We're going to click Next. Click Next. It's going to take a while. It's going to look for the device. I found the device. We're going to click Connect to it. It's going to connect to that device, and it's going to start getting the settings from it. Now, I already had this running a system, so it's probably going to have a configuration on it. Yours, you'll have to create a configuration. I recommend starting and stopping your dehumidifier every, I would say, hour or so. Have it start up, and then run for 30 minutes, shut off for an hour, then run for 30 minutes again. You can also dial that down to what your needs are, and yeah. Now it's going to take a little while to connect to the device, depending on whether or not it can get the connection from up here, which I don't think it will be able to. So Android sucks in that it's going to come up with a bunch of different error messages. Just ignore them. We're just going to connect this time. We're going to go back to the app. I had to relocate back to the basement because I can't get Wi-Fi up in my room. So I have the configuration on here. I'm just going to not reset it, but yours you'll have to create. It'll add it. You'll name the device, and then it'll connect to everything. Just gonna click on join my network, so it's gonna join your network. We're gonna connect back to the Wi-Fi that we were already on. We're gonna go back to the app. Whoops. And click back. Click back again. It's gonna hopefully connect it to the home network. You can see the light on the device actually turned green, so that's a good sign. Now it's going to ask to name the device. I'm going to leave it at dehumidifier basement. You'll type the name of your device in, what you want it to be, wherever your dehumidifier is located. I'm just going to leave that as the default. You can set a picture or whatever. We're not going to do that. It's going to ask you to save it to a group. I'll just leave it at that. Click OK. And you'll come onto the device now, and you can set the schedule by clicking down there. I have already set it up, so you can take a look at my schedule and just copy my times. You can see when I have it turning on, when I have it turning off. And these intervals are relatively, you can set them to what your needs are. I know it's military time, so this would be 2 o'clock, this would be 3 o'clock, this would be 4 o'clock, this will be 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then I have it shut off until 2 a.m. Just so that it doesn't run during that period of time, just to save electricity, and not like it's gonna jump up to 100% humidity all of a sudden. But yeah, it will turn on at its designated time now, but we can just go ahead and click that button. It'll turn the dehumidifier on. But I have it, I hit the power button on it. So if you do hit the power button and you plug it back in, it's not going to turn on. You have to actually hit the power button whenever. So like for instance, if I hit the power button, unplug it, and then plug it back in, it's not going to turn on. But yeah, since I turned it off, so yeah, it's going to run now. I also think the humidity sensor might be broken, because I definitely don't think it's 41% humidity when it was reading 57 earlier, but who knows. So now from this, we can go ahead and turn it off, and we're going to do that. So I'm going to zoom this camera out a little bit. So we'll turn it off. We'll turn it back on. We'll turn that on and wait 3 minutes and then turn it back on. And there we go. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helped. That's going to be it for this one. Please like and subscribe.